My boss replaced my electrolyte drinks with tap water to prove I was faking my disability. She didn't know I'd collapse while restraining a 185-pound Rottweiler. My boss tried to kill me by replacing my medical supplies with tap water because she thought my disability was fake. Landing the veterinary assistant job at the emergency animal hospital had felt like winning the lottery, but Dr. Wright made it clear from day one that she thought my POTS diagnosis was just an excuse to be lazy. During my interview, I explained how postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome just meant I needed compression gear and electrolyte drinks to keep my heart from going haywire when I stood up. The words tumbled out too fast because talking about my medical needs always made me feel like I was asking for the moon, even though it was just salty water and tight socks. The disgust on Dr. Wright's face when she finally looked at me made my chest tighten as she said, "Let me guess you diagnosed yourself on TikTok after watching some influencer pretend to faint for views." Her voice dripped with the kind of venom usually reserved for people who kick puppies, but I swallowed my anger because rent was due, and my cat needed expensive prescription food. My first month became a masterclass in workplace hostility with Dr. Wright, timing my bathroom breaks with her watch, and announcing to other staff that apparently the new generation needed special princess water instead of working hard like everyone else. The other techs started avoiding me during lunch after she told them I was probably contagious with whatever fake disease I was spreading around the clinic. 3 weeks into the job, my electrolyte supplies started vanishing from the break room. Dr. Wright claimed the storage closet needed reorganizing whenever I asked about them, even though another tech told me she saw Wright tossing bottles into the dumpster after hours. Then my compression stockings started disappearing from my locker with 2 pairs gone in 1 week, which meant spending another $60 on replacements. After that, I started changing in my car every morning and keeping them on under my scrubs no matter how uncomfortable it got by the end of shift. I survived another month of this harassment by sneaking water bottles mixed with salt from home until the morning a massive Rottweiler named Tank arrived after losing a fight with a pickup truck on the highway. Dr. Wright's smile looked almost gleeful when she assigned me as the surgical restraint tech, despite knowing I usually worked with cats and small dogs. The supply closet held nothing but regular water bottles where my electrolytes should have been, and when I mentioned it, she said, "Time to prove whether you actually need those expensive props, or if water works just fine like it does for everyone else who isn't seeking attention." Tank weighed almost as much as I did, and even under anesthesia, his muscles kept twitching from trauma, as Dr. Wright worked to repair his mangled intestines. The surgery suite felt like a sauna within minutes, and without proper sodium levels, my vision started developing black spots around the edges, while Tank's head grew heavier in my grip. My heart rate monitor would have shown 160 if I had been wearing one, but Dr. Wright had banned me from bringing medical devices into sterile areas, claiming they were unprofessional. Tank suddenly convulsed hard enough to shift the entire surgical table, and when I tried to compensate, my legs turned to water, and the floor rushed up to meet my face. My last coherent thought was that Tank's teeth looked much bigger from this angle, as his head whipped toward Dr. Wright's exposed throat. The crash of surgical instruments hitting tile was the last clear sound before everything turned into chaos. Through my blurred vision, I saw Tank's massive head lunging towards something while people shouted and scrambled around me. Someone's weight pressed across my legs, pinning me to the floor. Then an EMT was shining a light in my eyes while Dr. Wright screamed in the background about how she only replaced my drinks with water to prove I was faking. The words kept sliding away from me like I was underwater. The lead paramedic stared at her for a full 5 seconds before saying, "This girl's blood pressure is 70/40, and her heart rate is 185. So congratulations, you almost murdered an employee and got yourself mauled by a dog because you thought House MD was a medical textbook." The veterinary board suspended her license within a week after reviewing security footage of her deliberately sabotaging my medical supplies, and Tank made a full recovery under the care of a different surgeon who actually believed in science.